Hi and welcome back. Well, first things first, we are doing another giveaway. This is going to be our prize. Here, let me turn it on for you. There we go. Whoa, that's bright. This is a mid-century lamp made by the Beauceware Company of Canada. And one of our viewers recently informed me that the Beauceware Company was actually a bit of a social enterprise, and they provided jobs for people who would have otherwise been unemployed in the years following the Great Depression. So I thought to myself, we absolutely must do something with one of their products. Now this lamp is Beauceware's signature piece. It's their Swan corner lamp. Now, corner lamp, let me show you. See the shape of this? It fits right into a corner. And of course it has a little planter, and this is parchment paper here, so the light shines through. Now, this is going to be the prize for our giveaway. It's a lovely piece. Because this was Beauceware's signature piece, there are a lot of these around. What there are not a lot of is Beauceware lamps in this condition, because this is new. It's wonderful condition. It looks like it was never used. Fabulous. It's going to make a great giveaway, especially for those of you who like mid-century modern. Well, yes, I suppose technically it is mid-century modern, but I look at this and I tend to see the Art Nouveau lines in it instead. And another one of our viewers had mentioned that she thought, thank you, dear. No, go, Audie, good cat. No, you are not staying. Thank you. Good boy. She had mentioned that she thought it was great to have little lamps in with planting nooks. And I thought, oh, this would be great for that. But also because it's a small size, and as you can see, it's a very small piece that can slide in anywhere, fits in a corner, can go in a bookcase, and it's got an LED bulb, brand new. In fact, here's the box. The reason for that is because I don't want to give you something that's going to set your house on fire. And with a lamp like this, if you put it in a corner with very little air circulation, a regular incandescent bulb is going to get very hot. It's going to set your house on fire. Don't want to deal with that. And since our contest is going to be open to everyone, I don't like excluding our viewers overseas. If our contest winner is outside of the US, then their prize is going to be a $30 Amazon gift certificate, because if I sent you the lamp, I don't even think you could plug it in. If you did, it would probably blow your house up. I would end up on a terrorist watch list, and frankly, I haven't been on a terrorist watch list since I was in high school, and I'm not looking forward to revisiting that mishigas. So we're not going to do that. You will get a gift certificate, or actually I think it's a gift card, and you can do what you please with it, including download digital media, which means you don't even have to deal with the customs man. We're going to try to make this very, very inclusive. So stay tuned. We're going to be putting a lamp together today. We're going to be talking about Jadite and Jadite and Jadite and Jadite, 4 different kinds of Jadite. And we're going to be talking about how to add lamp hearts so that you can have finials. Now, stay tuned. Go grab a cup of coffee. We're covering a lot of ground, so I expect this is probably going to be a slightly longer video. I hope you'll bear with me. And we are going to talk about our giveaway contest. So, see you in a bit. Welcome back. Well, today we're putting together a lamp. Now, this was the lamp that was perched upon by a stray peacock that invaded my space. Oh my, she was a naughty little thing. So actually she was a peahen. And I have a picture of her as she was casing out the schoolhouse, trying to figure out how to break in, which she eventually did. And I have a picture of her when she was perched on a painting in there. I do not, however, have a picture of her when she was perched on the lamp, because by then the clever and agile little farm boy was just waiting for her, and he scooped her up in his arms and took her off to his grandmother's peacock farm, where she is presumably living happily ever after. At least she is much safer and better cared for than she was when she was attempting to nest in my schoolhouse. So, happy ending for her. Meanwhile, I'm getting video out of it, so happy ending for me too. Although she racked the lamp very badly. I'm going to show you a picture of that. Now, as you saw from the picture, and I held a straight edge up, the lamp was listing one way, it was listing the other way. It really needed to be rebuilt, because on top of everything else, that peacock, she was a heavy bird. They're big. I was surprised by how big she was. She just racked that whole thing out of shape. And it didn't have the most elegant proportions to begin with. But before we get into that, we need to talk about Jadite, because this is a Jade-ite lamp. And before we get into that, it would be a good idea if you knew what Jade-ite was. There are 4 Jade-ites, and do pardon my filthy fingers, I'll show you why in a minute. Jadite, Jadite, is the mineral we know of commonly as jade. It's a gemstone. Now, some jade is made from nephrite, which is a totally different mineral, and I'm not a gemologist, I can't tell you the differences between them. All I know is the better jade is made of jadeite, and nephrite, which is not terrible jade or anything, it's just a lot more common. So if you're a jade collector, jadeite is the mineral you want. Nephrite is what you want if you want a less expensive, more commonly available piece. So there's our 50 cents worth of jadeite information in terms of the gemstone. For us as vintage item collectors, there are 3 more types of jadeite. First is Fire King Jadite, and that is a green milk glass sort of, it's an opaque green glass. And Jadite is a trade name that was used by Fire King, which is a division of Anchor Hocking. It's very collectible. And I was going to show you a picture, but then I learned that one of our Boricua viewers, Michelle, has a shop on Etsy that specializes in Jadite. She has original Jadite, she has Repro Jadite. So her shop is called One Retro Bird, and I'm going to include a link below the video so that you can go and take a look at what she has. They're really nice pieces, because this is the sort of thing that you're going to want to be looking for as you're out thrifting and looking for collectible items. Fire King Jadite is collectible. And obviously, of course, if you're in the market for Jadite, you want to know about Michelle's shop, because she has nice pieces, and she also has very, very good photographs. So that's Fire King Jadite. Now, also, this is another kind of Jadite, and it's called, it's spelled Jadeite. And that is not a trade name. That is simply a term that you will occasionally hear applied to uranium glass, in particular the shades of green going into yellow-green in uranium glass. And we briefly touched on uranium glass over on the Crazy Lamp Lady. That was when I said you have to be very careful collecting it, because uranium glass can have up to a 25% uranium content. And there were people who wrote in and said, oh no, it's only 2 or 3%. No, that's not correct. Most uranium glass is only 2 or 3% uranium. They have documented pieces of up to 25%, and I have heard personally from collectors and dealers who are reliable people not inclined to exaggeration say that they have encountered pieces that have been up to 40% uranium. So if you want to collect uranium glass, I would strongly suggest you invest in a Geiger counter, or at the very least keep it behind glass doors, because some of that is very dangerous, and the people who worked in the factories that used uranium for things like glow-in-the-dark clock dials or to make uranium glass, they had a high death rate. This is nothing to play around with. Now, it's beautiful glass. If you want to collect it, great, but for heaven's sake, take precautions. Now, I'm going to show you a piece of uranium glass that falls into the category that's often described as Jadite. Okay, now the Jadite we are talking about is this. Here, let me show you this one, which is probably a little better. This is slag glass. Now, when lamps have green slag glass with these striations on it, they are called Jade-ite lamps. Now, slag glass was originally developed probably about 140, 150 years ago in England, and it gets the name because it was believed that they used metal slag, iron slag, in the making of the glass, and that was how they got these rust-colored striations. No one really knows for sure because the recipes for slag glass were very closely guarded industrial secrets. But it is a pressed glass, see? And you will very often see slag glass in stained glass windows. It's a heavy glass. It's not transparent. Light flows through it very easily because it is glass, but it's very opaque. Now, usually with a slag glass lamp, what you will see are a few little balls like this, 2, maybe 3 on a very elaborate lamp, and possibly a disc like this at the base of the lamp. What makes this particular lamp unusual and why it's worth the restoration I'm putting into it is because there's more slag glass in this than one commonly finds. Now, when I took this apart, I was in for a couple of surprises. The first thing I thought I was going to do was clean up the brass parts, and it turns out they were not brass parts. Some of them were iron painted brass, some of them were brass plated, and some of them were actually brass. So I had to make a decision going in about how I was going to deal with this mishmash of materials. And what I decided to do, because the largest pieces were iron painted to resemble brass, was to repaint the metal pieces to resemble antique brass. So that was number one, and that was how I did it. Oh, and here, let me show you a piece that I did repaint. What I did on this was I started off with a brown base coat, and part of the reason I did that was because the iron was rusting. And here, let me show you this. I don't know if you can see the little orange ring around this hole. Yeah, right there. That is rust. So I wanted to prevent any more rust, so I painted everything a flat brown, and then I went over it with a brass-colored paint. But that really wasn't working for me. It just didn't have enough of a sheen. So I went over to a gold paint on top of that, and then back over it with a flat brown to give it that sort of aged brass look, like brass with a heavy patina. By the way, that is how you pronounce the word. It is not patina. You will hear it pronounced patina. It is patina. And antique snobs will judge you harshly if you don't use that word correctly. Now, mind you, antique snobs are going to judge you harshly no matter what you say or do because they're snobs. But if you want them to give you a little more respect, make sure you say patina. And then they'll say, oh, well, that's a Wawa person, and we're going to give them more respect. Now, the other problem I had was this is the rod that was going up the center of the lamp. And as you can see, this is a very wide rod here, as opposed to the rod I'm going to use. See the difference? And then I found, as you can see here from this coupler, that this lamp had been redone at least once in its past. Someone added a little coupling piece and then a smaller threaded rod in order to accommodate the light socket. So this is just getting more and more interesting. By the way, this is the piece that is making my hands so filthy. So I'm glad to be rid of it. So we are going to put this together using 2 rods because I didn't have one that size. But if you'll recall from what we did with Jocelyn's lamp repair, coupling piece, 1 rod, and we're just going to screw the other one right into it. So once we do that, we effectively have 1 single rod. Now, the lamp has little feet, and that's our base, and that's where we're going to start. Now, because this held a much wider rod, we're going to have to use a washer and a little screw, or a little nut. I'm sorry, that's not a screw, that's a nut. We're going to have to use a washer on the bottom to take up that extra space. So here we go, and I know all the lamp parts are out of your visual range. We're going to deal with that now. So this is how it's going to go together, just like a jigsaw puzzle. That's our feet. Our little base is going to sit on top of it. This little piece is going to go on top of that. And this is all just going together. Let's just float around there, I don't care. Just like a jigsaw puzzle. As I'm putting this together, I have 2 balls. This one, which is more decorative, is going to go on the top where it's going to be more visible. This one is going on the bottom. Again, we're just going right over there. And this is the little cap for that piece. And now this. And that goes on top. It's got a little friend here. It's going to go right on top here. And then this goes on. That's the cap on top. And now we are going to replace this piece. This was originally the piece. Just get this over so you can see the difference. It was too tall. So what we're doing is we are using a combination of nuts and couplers to create a new, more attractive piece for the top. So let's just get that down there. Oh, while we are doing this, because remember last time I said I was going to sing you a song? I'm not. We are going to talk about the word of the day. Last time we did this, our word of the day was odorless. Remember that? It was harem slave. So we're going to do a word of the day today too. And today our word of the day is erudite. And erudite simply means learned. And the reason this is a good word is because a lot of people, including very erudite people, mispronounce it. And the reason they mispronounce it is probably because they don't know the root of the word. The root of the word erudite is rude. And not in the sense of cheeky and impertinent, but rude in its older sense, which meant unlearned. So, erudite, it's easy to think of this in terms of that collection of words that are turned into their opposites by adding a vowel. Amoral, immaterial, irrelevant. So, erudite meaning learned, from the root word rude, meaning unlearned. You will hear people all the time say erudite. No, because it's not rude, it's rude. That's the proper pronunciation. I assume people make the mistake because they think it has the same long U pronunciation of words like cute or mule. No, no. So now you have a word that even very well-educated people are inclined to pronounce wrong, and you are going to be able to pronounce it correctly and show off a little. Show off your erudition. So that's our word for today. Now, we have a series of little pieces here, and these are couplers, and I just put them together in a way that seemed attractive to me. That's all. There was no rhyme or reason. I just thought, okay, this looks good. This is how we're going to go. And I did it with the little couplers and a whole series of nuts that are just screwing on. And it was just a question of creating something that, as I say, looked visually appealing to me. And all of these pieces, by the way, were painted the same way I painted the other pieces, because I wanted them to look harmonious. I didn't want a little piece of brass looking here, a little piece of brass plate looking there, and a little piece of painted brass somewhere else. I wanted the whole to have a certain amount of cohesion. You are going up here. Okay. And one more of these. And now we get to this part. This is a harp saddle. That's what it's called. It's called a saddle for a harp. We're going to pop that on top here. That's what's going to allow us to put a harp on this lamp and then put a finial on. And this lamp has its own finial, so we don't have to worry about that. But the reason this is important is because our overseas viewers recently informed me that their lamps do not have harps. No harps. With no harps, you know what that means. It means no finials. And I was aghast. I told Jocelyn, she was aghast. We were collectively aghast. We love lamp finials. And the idea that anybody has been deprived of finials was just utterly horrific to us. So, I wanted to make sure you knew how to do this, because if you know how to do this, you know how to add a finial to a lamp. All you have to do is add your saddle, and once you have your saddle, you have your lamp harp. Okay, we just took a quick break, which, as you may have noticed, I don't do. I ordinarily do these videos in one take and done. But I was having trouble feeding this through, and I needed a break to figure out how to deal with that. So, what we have here is the ends of our wires, and it's fed through. Now remember our mouse ears. One ear in the front, one ear in the back. Back goes through the front goes through the back, and this is our UL knot. Now, if you are European and you don't have harps, you don't have saddles, you don't have finials, all you have to do is take your socket off. This is the bottom of your socket, and this is the part we put on last. Take that off. You know, you're going to rewire the top of your lamp, you're going to put in a saddle, you're going to get a harp. So remember, that's your UL knot. I have absolutely no idea what you would be calling that in the UK, because for us it's Underwriter Laboratory, and that is an American institution. I don't know what they have in the UK. Now this, let's see which one this is. Oh, here we go. This is our ridged piece, and remember, it was brass, bald, and black. Now, this is our white side, so our ridged piece is going to be curled around and screwed on to the white side. And remember, if you know brass, bald, black, everything left over simply gets screwed together. In this case, it would be white, silver, and ridged. And we don't have white here. We don't have a white wire, but we have a silver terminal. So, and I guess our brass terminal is more the terminal than the screw, because both of these screws look very sort of silvery to me. Okay. Let's just get these tight. Now this is going to slide right back through. Just going to pull the wire back and stuff this business in here. And then we are taking the top off now. Let's see what we want for our front before we do that. Okay, I think this side is the most attractive, so that's what I'm going to use for the front. Consequently, my pull chain is going over here, and then we just slide the top of our socket over the bottom and sort of shove it in. Are you going to shove in? Yes, of course. There we go. All right, almost. We clicked on one side, we didn't click on the other. All right, squish, come on. There we go. Okay, all better. All right, and here's our lamp. Now, I think the proportions are a lot better like this, but we're not quite through yet, because we have this metal stuff here. And one of the things I want to do with those metal pieces is I want to pop some little feet, little protectors on it. because I don't want it scarring anything up. So we're just going to use little stick-on felt feet. Okay, and that way it's not going to scar up our furniture. We add our lamp harp, and I know this is out of your range on the video, so we're going to drop it down into my lap. We're going to add our lamp harp, and this one has these little covers. And all you have to do is just squeeze it until it snaps into place. And then the little covers drop over to keep it in place. And then we're very stable. So we have gone from a racked lamp to something that is very nice, very stable. It's not going to scar up our furniture. And I am, in fact, going to include a nice picture of this because I know you can't see it from the camera. Also, I'm going to show you a picture of the Seahorse Steampunk lamp because a lot of people weren't able to see it very clearly. So I took a picture of that against a solid white background so you can get all the details. And I'm going to throw that picture in too. Oh, and you will notice that I just dolled it up a little. I just decided it was looking a little drab. So I grabbed a length of chain, threw a couple of little steampunk gears on either end, and just wrapped it around the bridge portion of the Seahorse lamp, which you're going to be able to take a look at. And it's removable. If I decide I don't like it after a while, I can get rid of it. But so far, it's starting to appeal to me. So, pictures coming up. What we have left to deal with is our giveaway contest. Now, our giveaway is going to run from the time this video posts, which should be 8 a.m. on the 16th of June, 2019, and that's Eastern Standard Time, New York time, and it will run until 8 a.m. on Monday morning, the 17th, 2019, also June. I need to be clear about that because somebody could end up watching this video 20 years from now and say, ooh, contest giveaway. All right. All of the rules are going to be listed below. By entering the contest, you are acknowledging that you have read the rules and agree to abide by them. And here's what you need to do. You need to subscribe to the channel, you need to like the video, and you need to leave a comment on this video. And that comment needs to be your definition of Uno. Remember when we talked about Uno shades, and I said I have no idea what that means. Capital U, capital N, capital O, it clearly stands for something. And people said, well, you know, in certain industries it meant under, not over. In other industries it meant unless otherwise noted. Well, by the way, I don't think my own version, which I believe was Uncle Norbert's ovaries, is particularly thrilling. So, let's come up with a name. I have not been able to come up with any kind of definition for Uno. So, I'm throwing it out to you. Let me know what you think Uno should stand for. U-N-O. Extra points given for funny. Extra points given for applicable to the subject. In other words, if it's funny and it makes sense, boy, you got a winner on your hands. So, let me know. The winner will be announced 1 week from today. So that's next Sunday. The winner, if it is a U.S. resident, is going to get our lovely little Beauceware lamp. If it's an overseas resident, you're going to end up with our $30 Amazon gift certificate. And in the meantime, if you're European, you know how you're going to get finials. So that, by the way, is probably going to be our next informational video. We're probably going to take a look at finials. I think I'd really love to do that. I'd love to show you how really fabulous a good finial can be and how to convert different sized finials, because they don't come in one size. There are 2 standard sizes for finials, and how to convert them over, how to make the larger ones smaller, the smaller ones larger, so they will fit your lamps. So, thanks for watching. Have a great week. I'll see you soon.